Hey guys, so I apologize for my appearance. I've been knee deep in finals this week, and I'm actually wrapping them up today. But I felt as though this was very, very important, uh, considering that today is the day after the Ohio District 11 special election. Like I said, had been vacated to Marcia Fudge, who took the uh, position for as Secretary of Housing and Urban Development within the Biden administration. And then you had essentially Nina Turner, who accepted a overwhelming majority of her money came from of her campaign donations came as an average of $27 uh, per donation. So anyway, yeah, I mean, for some reason I really thought that this time, corporate money wouldn't make a difference in trying to get that and trying to get Chantel Brown elected. I mean, but it did. And there's this campaign ad, or there's this attack ad that I will be showing y'all here in just a second. Essentially Chantel Brown was saying that Nina Turner attacked Joe Biden, which she had every fucking right to. Saying that voting for Joe Biden was like eating shit. And, Kyle Kalinske got this right. This absolutely. Voting for Biden over Trump, you're still eating shit, You're eating less shit than if you were to vote for Trump. Kyle Kalinske said it was like a full bowl of shit. Voting for Joe Biden was like a half bowl of shit. And, I come from a very progressive family. We all voted for Joe Biden. But it was still like eating shit. We knew exactly what was going to happen. And up until Cori Bush decided to sleep on the steps of the Capitol, Joe Biden and all the other corporate Democrats in Congress were essentially pointing fingers at each other, and then the CDC, and then they try to point fingers at Republicans until Cori Bush, the progressive, I don't know specifically who she represents, which state she represents. I looked that up here shortly. But she decided to sleep on the steps of the Capitol because the eviction moratorium had ended. And then Joe Biden was like, wait, that's kind of embarrassing. Might as well use a fucking Trump voice when talking like Biden whenever trying to imitate Biden right now. But it was embarrassing, and they fucking got it done. And now the eviction moratorium has been extended another 60 days. So that's going to give millions and millions of people the opportunity to figure out what they're going to do. The country, man, we're going through a huge change right now. The workers are starting to take back a little bit of power as we realize that during the pandemic we're receiving, but essentially more money and unemployment benefits than we were receiving working minimum wage jobs. So the employees are taking back some of the power, but they're having to sacrifice quite a fucking bit, So anyway, one thing I wanted to talk to you all about within this Ohio District 11 special election loss was, so I don't know if y'all remember, but in The Last Dance, they talked about how Jordan refused to endorse Harvey Grant, who was a black Democrat in North Carolina who was running for the Senate against a Republican. And Michael Jordan, all he could say was, well, Republicans buy shoes too. So here's my fucking thing. If y'all are familiar with Ohio District 11, if you watch my previous video, or the video I did on it before the last video I released. But essentially, Ohio District 11 encompasses, and it's a very gerrymandered district. I don't know how long it's going to stay like that because Ohio is kind of a red state. And you know how whenever one party claims power, it's usually the Republicans that gerrymander like this. But Ohio hasn't always been like this. So you still have a very gerrymandered Democratic district that encompasses Cleveland and then a bunch of small towns down to Akron, Ohio, which if you're a basketball fan, how I am, That's where LeBron James is from. And, Nina Turner came out and, gave LeBron credit for every good thing he's done publicly and politically, whether he was opening the I Promise School, which I don't know if y'all are familiar with the I Promise School, but it was a free, essentially, it was a free, top-notch, private-like school for underprivileged children like himself. And Nina Turner always shouted him out on that. LeBron did not take a single stance as to whether or not, he could have endorsed Nina Turner. That would have given them everything. You know how much people down in Ohio appreciate LeBron, especially after he came back from Miami and then got Cleveland a chip like he fucking said he would, I mean, why? Because we know where these athletes come from. We know where LeBron James came from. We know that he was raised, in a single parent household. But all of a sudden, you're in bed with Nike. He's a billionaire now after Space Jam launched. And Nina Turner doesn't favor corporations. Now, LeBron might have a favorable opinion of Nina. However, this is one thing we need to think about, and this is the most disgusting fucking aspect of sports, because we all respect these people, especially whenever a lot of them have come from pretty bad backgrounds, and then they do engage in a lot of charitable work. But whenever it comes to getting like a specific politician elected, you hardly see an athlete come out and directly endorse a candidate. We saw Steph Curry did it with Joe Biden. But this was a Democratic primary, and we really need to shift the Overton window within the DNC to the left, because a lot of those people, sadly, had the lady been, had Chantel Brown been white or, et cetera, they would have wound up voting for Nina Turner. Not a lot of people are aware as to how vulnerable they are whenever it comes to progressive issues. I think a lot of people who vote Democrat think that they're voting progressively in most places, but I mean, that's clearly not the case whenever you've got people like Pelosi, whenever you've got people like Schumer, Ted Deutsch. Nina Turner did everything that she was supposed to do, but all that corporate money flew in, and they started attacking Nina Turner, saying that she was against policies that she had directly advocated for. She'd been Chantel Brown received money from people like Robert Kraft, who's a fucking staunch Trump supporter. She received money from a lot of fucking Republicans and a lot of super PACs that just don't have the American people's best interests at heart. There's going to be a couple things that she might flirt with that, I'm going to give her due credit for, such as, free pre-K, universal free pre-K, etc. But, man, this was a tough loss. And I'm hoping, because whenever Beto ran against, Ted Cruz here in Texas and lost, a lot of people carried the same attitude that I'm going to carry right now. Maybe Nina will run again, in that district. Cori Bush ran once or twice and lost, and then she's making that impact down in Washington. We know what progressives do. Cori Bush was like, she was over there. She got the eviction moratorium extended, and now Nina Turner is like, fuck, I wish I could join her. Those two could get a fuck ton done, and they're gonna put some fire under the asses of fucking AOC and Ro Khanna, Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib. But anyway, yeah, this was tough. So I'm going to end off this video with that attack ad. And, I mean, it was just inherently wrong. But thanks.
Country is more polarized than ever, and Nina Turner is no help. Unify Democrats? Turner said no. Support Clinton over Trump? Not Nina Turner. Help Biden defeat Trump? Turner refused. Instead, Turner said voting for Biden was like eating. Turner even voted no on the entire Democratic platform, rejecting Biden's plan to build on Obamacare. Nina Turner for Congress? No thanks. The MFI PAC is responsible for the content of this advertisement.